Hello, everybody. So we are back for the finale of the first season of Shadowhunters. So obviously this is a big episode. I was hoping that they would kind of go out with a bang, at least for the show, have something big happen, so that way people are excited for the next season of Shadowhunters. And in a way, they did that. Of course, it wasn't the same as the books, obviously. But they still did kind of leave us with sort of a cliffhanger ish. But but yeah, I'll talk about that. And I do apologize. This video may end up being in two parts. I may end up making this review into two parts just because there's so much I want to talk about. But yeah, so just bear with me. And hopefully you guys won't mind that. Again, I apologize for that, but there's just so much I want to talk about, and I don't think I'll be able to get to all of it in 15 minutes because, of course, the stupid freaking time limit of 15 minutes because I usually just upload these from my phone. But anyways, turn it the other way. So we open up with Jace and Clary, and obviously Jace is still just he's made amends with Clary, but he's still very upset, because he feels like because Valentine raised him and he trained him, so obviously Jace, Valentine is Jace's father. He's starting to really realize that, and Clary is just, she's saying, "Look, I know you're not a bad person. You were raised by Valentine, but you are not Valentine. And that's kind of a recurring thing in this whole in the finale. So obviously Jace is struggling with that throughout this whole episode. The fact that Valentine did raise him, because he thought it was Jace Whalen, Michael Whalen the whole time, but it was really Valentine that raised him, that whole time. So Jace is struggling with that, and that is something that was from the books. So that whenever that came up, I really felt like a big callback to the books because that is something that he struggled with, and when he found out in the first book, throughout the second book, um, you know, somewhat the third book as well, or some of it. Of course, we all know all of us book readers know what happens, but yeah. So there was that, and obviously, there's Alec with his parents. His parents still aren't happy, especially his mom. His mom is still pretty upset that he ended the wedding, but he ended the wedding in the way he did with getting together with Magnus Bane. In that scene, and Alec is just like, what, because he's a guy, and you know, Maurice is just like, the fact that he's a guy is the least of my concerns, but like, both Maurice and Robert were like, there's a lot that you don't know about him, and a lot that he doesn't know about him. And Alec is just like, well, I plan to get to know him. So yeah, there was that. I do want to say I do like the chemistry between just the entire Lightwood family in general because I really do feel like all the actors, Alec, Maurice, and Robert in this scene, and they felt like legit family. Like they felt like they, if this makes any sense, like they literally the chemistry, it literally felt like they were his parents and he was the son. I don't know. I just think they have good chemistry. I think all three of those actors are really good, especially the mother who plays Maurice. I've been impressed with her like every time she shows up. But anyways, so they eventually figure out. They look back at the videotape security footage that they have, and that's a thing that keeps reoccurring in this show. I really don't like that. I really don't like that they have the security footage type thing because in the books and even in the movie, it wasn't like that. They didn't have all that fancy electronic security stuff. They did have cell phones. I can't confirm that, but they didn't have like the Institute wasn't like this big techie thing. It was just like it was a normal building. I mean, it was whatever. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I just don't really care for that. But anyways, they look back at the footage and they find that it is Hodge that knocked Lydia out and got the cup. And beforehand, Alec and Magnus found her out. Well, not found her out, but they found her, unconscious. And they thought it wasn't Hodge, and then of course, the footage shows, and they found out that it is Hodge. So, of course, Isabel, Alec, Jace, they all feel betrayed by him because he was obviously their teacher for so many years. So they feel betrayed, you know, justifiably so. Um, which is another thing from the books that I'm glad that they stuck with, because it was Hodge that betrayed them, and it was Hodge that, got the cup to Valentine in order to gain his freedom. So, um, and then Luke obviously finds out. Luke is like, this is all my fault. He was in there, I let him get by. So he sends his pack out looking for Hodge. And, at one point, we do go to Hodge, who gives the cup to Valentine, and it shows Valentine creating his army of Shadowhunters. He dips the cup in this liquid, which I'm not sure what it is. Maybe I'm just not remembering things. But he has these normal people, I'm guessing, drink this liquid, and it turns them into Shadowhunters, I guess. I didn't think it worked that way. Like, I thought that by doing that it would turn them into downworlders, but I think it's if you put runes on normal human beings, they die, and then they come back as downworlders. Is that correct? I apologize. I can't remember how that works. The first book was very confusing, and it was explained in that book how it works, so I am kind of confused. I'm so sorry. I feel like I keep having to rely on you guys to like remind me, but yeah, it just seems like there's more to it than what was going on in the show. Like they were just drinking it and they were automatically becoming shadow hunters. He would put marks on them and give them the oh my god, I always forget the name of the swords that the shadow hunters use. It's not a stelly, not a stelly. Oh my god, I can't remember the name of the swords that they use. Damn it. Okay, maybe I'll remember it later. I apologize for that. I'm forgetting everything, but I feel ashamed because I'm a book reader. I should remember all this crap. But anyways, so what else? What else? What else? What else? So eventually I'm trying to I'm not exactly going in order here. So obviously Clary, Simon, and well, Clary needs the Book of White, and obviously they find out that Camille knows where it is because they did the tracking thing in the last episode. So, Jason and Clary go to Simon, and they get Simon to try to help them. So Simon he says he's going to set up something with um, Raphael. So they go to Clary and Isabel go to the lair, and they talk with Raphael, and they obviously are. Clary's like, well, we have an alliance, don't we? And he's like, yeah, we do, but they're obviously not getting along again. So Isabel goes with Raphael. I may not be remembering everything correctly, but I think like Isabel was going to kind of was she going to serve as a distraction for Raphael? Like I don't even like. All I know is that Jason and Clary they went to go get they went to find Camille, and they do find her in the coffin, and she's not moving, and then like Clary is just like she's dead, and then Simon's like, well, yeah, obviously, I mean, what did you expect? And then like all of a sudden Camille just like shoots right up and like does that thing, and then it blacked out, which. That's another criticism I have when the vampires do that thing where they're like it seems so cheesy and unrealistic. Like I wish they would just quit doing that. Like seriously, I wish they would just I mean if they're going to do it, at least make it sound more realistic and just make it I don't know, like when they make that sound it just sounds so cheesy and fake and like I just wish they wouldn't do that. If they can't do it right, then just don't do it at all, but whatever, another minor complaint, but so they do wake up Camille, and obviously Camille wants something in exchange for for her to find the Book of White, and it's not at the Dumort, not the Hotel Dumort. It's at her room at the hotel. I can't remember what. It's not the Hotel Dumort, but she knows where it is. Anyways, that she knows where it is. That's the point. But she obviously wants, and this is another thing that I missed. She wanted Simon to sign a contract, and I can't remember what it was for. All I know is she wanted Simon to sign it, and yeah, I can't remember what it was for, but she wanted something from him in return. So eventually she does get it. And okay, I'm sorry. And yet another complaint that I have during these whole scenes with Clary and Camille and Simon, Clary was holding the sword. I can't remember the name of the swords. Damn it! But she was holding the sword to Camille's throat, and I find that very unbelievable because if that were in the books, I feel like Camille would not take that shit. I feel like Camille would, because let's remember, Camille is centuries old. She's hundreds and hundreds of years old. Old, yeah, old, and I don't know, that didn't even come out right. She's hundreds of years, she's very old, that's the point. And she has a lot of experience, like being a vampire and fighting. So I feel like if Clary was like trying to hold her down with a knife to her throat, I feel like Camille would just like disarm her really easily and just like pin her to the ground or something. I don't feel like Camille would take that crap. It's just like in the 8th episode, I think it was, when Clary like went right up to her and punched her in the face, and then like Clary turned her back on Camille and just I don't feel like Camille would have taken that either. It's just like, really, that doesn't feel realistic at all. Like Camille wouldn't just take that. She would retaliate to that. Anyways, whatever. But eventually Raphael attacked Isabel beforehand. Well, not attacked her, but like he found out what she was doing. So Isabel took her whip and tried to like attack him, but obviously Raphael was too quick and he got away. And he was saying like, "Oh, you Shadowhunters always underestimating vampires," which was weird because when Clary and Simon got Camille and they were going back, Raphael and his clan cornered them and were going to kill them. But then, just as they were about to attack them, Isabel cracked the wall open with her whip, and the sunlight came out, and obviously it kind of burned Raphael's hand. But so he had to step back, so they couldn't attack them. And Isabel was like, "Oh, you vampires always underestimating Shadowhunters," which was kind of funny. And by the way, this episode, I felt like Isabel was more like Isabel than she has been in almost all the other episodes. Like, this was the badass Isabel, the badass, kind of snarky Isabel that we know from the books, at least us book readers do. I felt like this was Isabel. This is Isabel, not the walking, talking cliche that we had in the first few episodes, not the whole, like, bringing honor to the family Mulan freaking thing that we saw, like, in the middle of the season. I feel like this is Isabel, if you guys get what I'm saying. So yeah, so we got that. They got Camille. They're taking her back, and then that's when they pretty much make the deal. And again, Clary is cornering her with the sword, which I find totally unbelievable because I feel like Camille could just like disarm her and kick her ass, especially since Clary is not even an experienced Shadowhunter. Like, but whatever. But anyways, so they go to Magnus Bane's place, and they're going to is it that place that they go to the rooms that with the libraries where the Book of White is? Well, okay, I'm getting confused here, but I know Clary wants to talk to Simon, so they walk out of the scene, and then Camille and Magnus are exchanging words. Obviously, they have history. So, hang on. Okay, guys, this is going 14 minutes and 40 seconds, so I'm going to cut this right here, and I will upload part 2. So stay tuned for part 2, and I will come back to you with the rest of the review. Peace.